Hello everybody, it's Joe here and welcome to Train Simulator 2022. We're here in the brand new Armstrong Powerhouse Class 800 to 803 enhancement pack, and we're going to be using 802.216 on one of the scenarios that comes with the pack. Hello driver, as soon as you're ready, release the doors, set the destination and await your departure time of 5:52. You'll then call at Lea Green, Newton-le-Willows and Manchester, Victoria. We're on the Alan Thompson Sim Chatmoss route today. In this rather striking TransPennine Express livery. I'll just set the old destination up. It's the F7 and F8, rather straightforward. You'll notice it's got places like Doncaster, Bradford Foster Square, Harrogate, which of course is not served by TransPennine Express, but I don't think there's that many destinations, so I think they share the destinations with the LNER ones. I think the Great Western ones are separate. There we go. Do we have a pan up? The pan is already up. Right, so let's get cracking. We've not got that long, so we'll press T and U to open the doors. Are the doors open? Has it worked? No. Right, okay. So you need to select the mode. That's where I've gone wrong. So guard operated selective door opening. Now we're going to need the selective door opening. Oh, I haven't put my key in, that's why. Flipping heck, Joe. Come on. Basics. So cancel that alarm off. Acknowledge the TPWS, the AWS, sorry. Right, let's have a look. Do you work now? Ah, there we go. That's the sound we're looking for. There we go. So when you've got the selective door opening, apparently the train will actually respond to... hang on, so we need to... there we go. Yeah, the train will actually respond to whether it fits on the platform or not. If you don't use that, then it will just open all the doors. That's traditional in a lot of Armstrong Powerhouse packs. There we go. We'll set the speed set. Apparently that's meant to be like round here. I'm thinking on this screen maybe on one of the... well, no, they're the door cameras, aren't they? So maybe on this screen here, but they said they moved it here for ease of access. There we go. We'll pop you in full. We've got the pan up. Have we got the lights on at the front? I think I put them on. Yeah, there we go. Just have them on dim because I mean it's light now. It must be summer because it's 5:52 in the morning and it's light. And yeah, this can be yours. I believe it's £16.99. And do you know what? I've had a little drive of it this morning, just a little play about, just to see if I can get used to it. And I'm rather impressed. I really am. I mean, they've had a really difficult job. Hang on. There we go. The fantastic old style buzzer. There we go. Yeah, there we go. We've actually got it to move. Some absolutely fantastic sounds there, isn't there? Listen to that. Oh, it's so much more of an improvement. I mean, they really did have a hell of a job on their hands with this one. I mean, the original Dovetail games that came with East Coast London to Peterborough was nothing short of diabolical. I mean, yeah, it really was. So to say that this is the standard it is, I mean, it's you could argue it's perhaps not as in depth as some of the other Armstrong Powerhouse packs. I mean, like for instance, the door open buttons aren't clickable. A little bit disappointed about that, but I mean, it's not the end of the world, is it? The cab apparently has had a lot of buttons. There's like other buttons that were in the Dovetail one. Because I mean, what Dovetail Games actually brought the train out, didn't they, before any of them were actually on the rails. So I think there was a little bit of poetic license used in the cab. I mean, we've got the headlight button, that's obviously clickable. We've got, see, I very rare, oh, we've got a reading light, yeah, and desk illumination. Just leave that as it is. So yeah, they really have done a good job. I never played with the old one. I mean, I drove it once or twice, the pre-enhancement version, because I just didn't like it. I mean, you saw me drive it on this route from Liverpool to Manchester. It ain't half slow out of Liverpool, is it? Yeah, you saw me drive that. I mean, I didn't used to like it at all. So I never used to drive it, so it's actually very difficult for me to actually see what's been enhanced and what wasn't featured on the original model, just because I never used to use it. Right, there we go, we can actually get up to 40. Now, if we press full stop, we can put the speed set up in mile/h increments, same as comma will take it down. And if we hold control and full stop, speed set goes on, or speed limiter, sorry, as it's known in this. You will need to read the manual. Now, for someone who never reads manuals ever and just likes to jump in and wing it, you won't be able to do that with this, because of course you've got, I mean, I think, I could be wrong unless there's some sort of European loco, out of all the ones I've driven, this is the first one that actually features electric and diesel. I think there are some out there, namely some European ones, which do have bi-mode capabilities. If you know of any others, do of course let me know in the comments. But yeah, this is a first for me, because I normally stick with the UK traction, normally DMUs, EMUs, etc. So yeah, this really is a first for me, but you've got the two different modes. Obviously now we're on electric mode, and you do also have diesel mode, which I don't think we'll be showcasing today. Hang on, we've not got the vigilance device on. Well, we need that on to ensure we are vigilant. And that can be reset by pressing E. There we go, so flying through Edge Hill. Glorious sunrise, isn't it? It's such a slow departure from Liverpool, isn't it, really? It really does. You do take your time, don't you? Look at that. It's a good looking train, isn't it? I mean, I don't actually sign these. I don't sign these at all, based where I'm based. We don't sign them. We sign these 68s, we sign the 185s, and we sign the 397s. Maybe one day we will. So, you know, from a conductor point of view, I can't really tell you much about them because I've never signed them. There we go. We'll just wait until a couple more coaches are past the 75. We've got what looks like an East Midlands 156 there on the right hand side. Oh, lovely. Oh no, it's not. It's a northern one. Of course, it's a northern one. You flipping Egypt. We'll take that down to 70 miles an hour because there is a 70. Reset the DSD. There we go. Wavertree Technology Park. See, the thing is, I mean, I started driving this scenario. You really don't get a good sensation of speed, and I find this with a lot of the Hitachi units. Particularly, I mean, where I see them the most is over the TransPennine route between, obviously, Liverpool and York. You know, like the max speed down here is 90, but I think like when you have a 185 that's got a flat front, it seems like it's going faster. Whereas this, because it's got a big pointy nose on it, it doesn't really feel like it's going very fast. You know, you're sat here in this kind of really high-tech cab, and you just kind of feel like you're crawling along. I mean, we're doing 70 mile an hour, which is it's fairly fast. It's faster than I can walk, I can tell you that. But you just don't really feel like you're going very fast at all. Oh, hang on, there we go. And we'll reset you so we don't have an emergency brake application. We also, with this, get a fantastic TransPennine Express interior view. The lighting's perhaps not as bright as it would be. I don't know if it's possible to change that. Yeah, this is just showing exactly how the Hitachi model was made before any were in service, because these seats here behind actually aren't there. And I'm not convinced. I think these ones are, but then this is a wheelchair area for wheelchair users. Yeah, I think that's how it is. I'm not entirely sure. I know that the seats aren't there, but just how many of them aren't there, I'm not sure. So it's a large area here for wheelchair users. The first class is actually quite small in the Hitachis compared to the likes of the 68s and Mark 5s, the likes of the 397s. The first class is a lot bigger. And for some reason on the Hitachis they use a different seat maquette. Not entirely sure why, but you know, just why not? Why not indeed? Oop, a little bit jerky going over there. Coming up to Roby. Let's see, can we get a nice, you know I'm a sucker for a nice screenshot. Oh, look at that. Beautiful, beautiful. So because it's the early morning one, the 552, this actually used to be a 68 and Mark 5, or a 185. It was a Manchester Airport crew that used to work this particular service, the 552? Yeah, because I think it was a 68 and Mark 5. could be mistaken. Not entirely sure, but yeah, because the Newcastles, of course, used to go at 25 past. I'm thinking pre-COVID timetable here. But of course, the 5:52 is now in Newcastle, and it's worked by a Liverpool crew. I think. Well, of course, it'll be a Liverpool crew. It starts at Liverpool. I mean, that's more or less stating the obvious there, Joe, isn't it? But yeah, these early morning ones do stop, or this early morning one stops at Lea Green and Newton-le-Willows. And only the Scarboroughs stop at Lea Green, and the Newcastles stop at Newton-le-Willows. But yeah, early on in the morning they do stop at both, because of course there is a 5:54 from Manchester Victoria to Liverpool, which is a 68 Mark 5. We might actually cross that. We might pass that. I'm not entirely sure what they'd have used at Armstrong Powerhouse, because I know there's the 180 Mark 5s, isn't there? But I don't know if they'd have actually used that reskin. So they might have just stuck another 802 on it, to be fair. But yeah, you see, I mean, we're racing along at 90 miles an hour, which if you look out the window, whoops, I've clicked onto the other monitor there by mistake. It's minimised it. You know, if you look out the window, you look like you're doing a fair. You know, you look like you're going fairly fast, don't you? But it just doesn't look it out the front at all. You just kind of feel like you're just plodding along at maybe 60. There is also another scenario for this where you're going towards Liverpool, which allows you to use you start coming down the hill at Miles Platting into Victoria, and you're on diesel, and then you have to change to electric mode. So it does show the bi-mode in operation. Perhaps I should have gone with that one for my first, my first video. But I thought, you know what, we'll do this one because it's the first one off Liverpool. And then there's like a middle of the day scenario, and then there's an evening scenario. So I thought we'll have a go at all of them. We'll have a good crack at all of them, because why not? There we go, 319 lot, stopped at, hang on, let me think. I'm going to go with Wiston. I've not been counting the stations, so I've kind of lost track. Yeah, it must be Wiston. Is it Rainhill? No, I think Rainhill's down here, isn't it? Nope, to be honest with you, I've completely lost track. I can do them in order, but normally going the other way. It's funny when you learn a route, you normally learn it better in one direction. Coming back, I have to really, really concentrate hard. I mean, obviously, it's a little bit different when you're up front, isn't it? Because normally, I'm in here, so the view you get is more side on rather than forward on. Oh yeah, I think this is Rainhill here, isn't it? Oh yeah, I was right, it is Wiston. No, hang on. No, it must have been Rainhill. Oh, I'm confused. There we go, we'll get a little bit of braking in. A little bit more, maybe, because earlier I did actually miss Lea Green. I went sailing through. I mean, I'm good at not stopping at stations, but yeah. There we go, right, we'll just... So we'll see the selective door opening in action, hopefully, here. Because the 802s are actually longer than the platform here at Lea Green. Maybe the reason it feels so slow as well is when you are, or the drivers of the 802s are sat a lot higher up than in the likes of the 185. I mean, we're really coming in quite slow here, aren't we? I do love this route, it has to be said. Yeah, we're coming in ridiculously slow, for goodness sake. Hey, there we go. Oh, 158 going the other way. That'll be the empty stock. There we go. So, right. It's a shame they couldn't alter that, because that is a crew area. A crew door, sorry. It's not for passenger use, so it shouldn't really open. So we've got open doors here, open doors, open doors. So that door is shut because it's not on the platform. Absolutely love it. Fantastic. Yep, happy with that. We'll just imagine that the guards down here at the very front, they've been doing tickets, haven't they, obviously. I mean, look at that. It's such a good looking train, isn't it? The visuals on the outside are really good. I mean, it comes with a wide selection of liveries. That's a screenshot and a half, isn't it? Brilliant. We should actually probably put it in the old neutral, because we're sat at a station. That's like method of work, isn't it? What time are we due out? 6? Flipping heck, we're early. We will actually set off from the station inside the train as well, because if you've ever travelled on a Hitachi, you'll notice when you set off, the doors all make a banging sound, which, when you stood next to them, do make you jump. If you're not expecting it, they don't half make you jump. But that is also replicated, because I believe well, it was saying that the cab doors also have like the rubber round that expands so that the doors don't whistle. Because obviously they're not plug doors on the Hitachis. They are. Oh, hang on, there we go. They are actually sunk into the train, look. So the rubber kind of expands. Very, very clever. To stop any kind of wind whistling noises. Yeah, dear. Maybe I should drive a bit slower between here and Newton-le-Willows. Hang on, why are we... Yeah, we should be on dimmed lights. I've just got us on markers. Hang on, where are we? There we go, that's what we're meant to be on. Now, we'll get that screenshot again, so that I don't look a fool. There we go. I mean, look at that. It's such a good-looking train, isn't it? Particularly now it's got the right amount of lights on. I wonder what the difference is. Full. I'm not noticing much of a difference. There probably is. Oh, well, we'll leave that. We'll leave that. Right, so we should have the guard closing the doors. We'll pop it in forwards because it's nearly time to go. Gosh, you can hear the doors there shutting from the outside. We've got the interlock. Off we go. There's a slight delay when you put the throttle in there. It always kind of makes me a little... There you go, there's the popping. Did you hear that? If not, go back and watch it again. You do get a little popping noise on the 802s. Yes, what was I saying then? There is a short delay when you put the throttle in to any movement happening. Now, I'm assuming, because that never happened on the original, that is actually a feature of the Hitachi. There's a little delay while it just kind of susses out what it's doing. But it does really make me doubt that I've done it right. Right, off we go. So, next stop, Newton-le-Willows, which is, of course, where the majority of the Newcastle services stop. Do you know what? Yeah, I'm a fan of this. And, as well, don't forget, I mean, you might think, $16.99, that's, you know, that's that. You get 3 scenarios with it, which, incidentally, are all for this Liverpool to Manchester route. There are another 3 scenarios which have been put on Powerhouse. I don't really use it. Perhaps I will use it more one day. But don't forget that you get the Great Western... liveries, you get the LNEI, you get Hull trains. So there's such a wide selection of routes that you can use this train on. So you actually, you know, you really could get good value for money there. There's no limit. I mean, there's the East Coast Main Line merge, so you've literally got London to Edinburgh. You've got the Middlesbrough section as well, so if you fancied doing the new LNER service up to... excuse me, the new LNER service up to Middlesbrough, you can do that. You can't do Huddersfield, can you? You could do the Harrogate bit on diesel. You know, there's such a wide array. London all the way to Edinburgh. You've got London to Penzance, for goodness sake, with Great Western, what's it called now? Western Main Lines from Just Trains. Yeah, okay, there's better routes available, but, you know, it's still there if you want it. You know, so you really can get good value for money with this. I mean, it says it's an 803 enhancement pack as well. Is 803s, what are they? Are they the East Midlands ones? I think they're the East Midlands ones, aren't they? We don't currently have a livery for that as far as I'm aware, but I'm guessing if it's an 803 enhancement pack, it will be updated in due course. I mean, there's 805s and 807s on the way for Avanti. I don't know what they're going to be like, but we'll see. Oh, hang on. Right, I need to slow down here, because you have just been past a double yellow. I don't know if I'm allowed to brake at 70%, but it's what's going to have to happen, because I was ignoring signals again. It's not what you need, is it? Now, I'm hoping that it's not the scenario that's just a little bit faulty, because sometimes I have experiences with rogue red signals. Although I imagine, because we're coming up to Earlstown, that there'll be some sort of stopping service in front of me. And if we do actually have to follow a stopper, that will make it a little bit more interesting, doesn't it? Because sometimes you do get a clear run all the way through, and you kind of think, so it's, you know, it's great, but I've got my speed set, and it's not particularly exciting. Right, we've got a red signal, which I imagine is protecting the junction, because there's another red signal at the end of the platform. Oh no, it's not. The red signal is... oh, hang on, where are we? Oh, that's a banner repeater. Why is that down as a red signal? Well, we'll just take it really easy, because a lot of the drivers don't like to stop on the platform, and I can understand why, because a train comes to a stand. If there's one due, you know, there's passengers that will be thinking, oh, there's a train here, let's try and get on, and obviously that presents in itself a hazard that if they're trying to board the train and the train sets off, you know, that there's potential for them to fall down the gap. Oh, there we go. So a lot of the drivers, rather sensibly actually, come to a crawl just before the platform, and then accelerate through the platform, which to me I think makes a lot of sense. I like the little air sound before the horn. I know that that's something that happens on the 397s. You see that little hissing? Brilliant. We can crank it up now because we've got the signal all the way into Newton-le-Willows. Well, whatever it was, it must have got a wriggle on. Mustn't have stopped at Newton-le-Willows. Maybe it's some sort of Transport for Wales service that doesn't stop. It's come round from Earlstown. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest with you. Now at Newton-le-Willows, hang on, what time are we due in? Oh, we don't have a... Right, maybe we're running a little bit late then. This is where we cross with the other service, the 68s, which I think, looking at it, zooming in, is an 802 that they've used. Okay, fair dues. I mean, it's not perfect, but Armstrong Powerhouse, of course, haven't got a hold of any carriages. And to be able to sell it, they'd need the express permission, but I imagine you could probably change that. So that should be a 68 pulling some Mark 5s. I mean, we're really erring on the side of caution into this station. I've still not quite got the hang of the brakes on this thing yet. And of course, don't forget, if you're driving it in diesel mode, the physics are completely different, particularly your acceleration, which I imagine you could probably, you could have expected. You didn't need me to tell you that. But yeah, it really, really is sluggish in comparison to electric. I mean, me and my other half took one of the Hull trains once for a spin down the east coast on the fantastic York to Peterborough line. Now that's really aging a bit, isn't it? The York to Peterborough line. Hang on, we'll get it in neutral. But yeah, we took a Hull trains one, and we actually did on the move. Now some companies will let you, some companies won't. But when we came onto the East Coast main line, we actually panned up, switched the engines off. It was absolutely brilliant. But you really could see the difference in performance between diesel and electric. Right, off we go. There we go. A little bit worried that wasn't going to work. Oh, the popping of the doors again. Yeah, the power difference between Selby and the East Coast main line and then down to Doncaster was just absolutely fantastic. Really, really well done. I really am impressed with this pack. It doesn't have everything, like I say, but for $16.99 it really has breathed a new lease of life into the Class 800 pack. And I really recommend it. You know, even if you just use it for a scenery train, the amount of liveries that you get with this thing, coupled with the fact you can have diesel and electric, so you don't have to kind of exit a scenario, and you know, absolutely brilliant. Really, really am impressed. There we go, there's Newton-le-Willows Junction there, that joins the West Coast main line. And then we'll also have Parkside Junction. It makes a nice little neat triangle. Your Barrow and Furness and Windermere services go around there. The TransPennine 350s go around there. Go around there? No, we've not had 350s for a while now. But yeah, they used to go around there before Bolton was electrified. And every now and then you get a 397 around there, because the drivers do sign that as a diversionary. So it's always good, just in case something happens on the Bolton line, that services can keep running. Right, so, racing back up to 90 mile an hour. I'm hoping whatever was in our way is now not in our way. Of course. As always. You know, that we'll get a nice clear run through. I'm hoping it doesn't stop at Eccles and Patricroft. Or Patricroft and Eccles, given we're going the other direction. Oh, there we go. The speed set really does help. Oh, hang on, let's get a bit of that. Don't want an emergency brake application, do we? But yeah, it does kind of make me wonder, because the signal buzzer, look, you can't click that. Do we have that at that side? No, the signal buzzer you can't click. These you can't click, but the door close button you can click, which kind of is a bit weird to me. Train door control, I imagine that means you give it from the driver to the guard, because there's the driver with his little hat on, and then the guard with like a sash round. I imagine that's the ticket machine. So if you want to, because of course the guard can open the doors on these, but the driver has to hand the control to the guard. Now with the 68s and the 397s, the guard can turn the key and it overrides the driver's decision. So it's the other way around on these. The driver has to give the guard the control to open the doors, otherwise you can't open the doors. Which, you know, is a funny way round of working, because if there is a problem, it kind of makes more sense in my view, that the guard can just quickly, you know, keep things on time rather than... But I guess if that's the way they were built, I mean, the Voyagers, for God's sake, what was that all about with the 10 buzzer dispatch? It's not exactly what you call quick, is it? You know, but it's what keeps the traction, you know, varied, a little bit more interesting, little quirks like that. It really does feel slow down here, doesn't it? You know, you just kind of want to crank it up to 125 and just see what it can do. But yeah, you're just plodding along. I think it's the pointy front and the fact you sat higher up. It's like the Voyager, isn't it? You are really quite high up. Look how the driver is there compared to the actual train. There we go. Let's have another screenshot. Look at that. The sunrise really does look fantastic on this unit. We can also use dynamic braking though. So if we turn the speed set down to 75 in preparation for this 75 zone, it will brake. There you go. Leave it on 100% throttle, and then when you get to 75 it'll just ease off, possibly. There we go. The amps will pop back up and it'll hold it at 75. Now if you're on diesel mode, you can't do that. I'm assuming that's because you can't do that in the real thing. But yeah, you can't do that on diesel mode. Brilliant. And it's little things like that. You know I love little details. But yeah, it's little details like that, little attention to details, that just make or break a pack for me. I mean, I was really excited when I found out they were doing this anyway, because I've kind of said for quite a while, oh, they should do an 800 pack, and I was always told, oh, well, Mr. Armstrong doesn't really like modern traction, so it probably won't ever get done. But, you know, I mean, now, you see these flipping things everywhere, don't you? So it's I can imagine it's a well-demanded pack. It does seem very slow slowing down for Astley Crossing to 60 miles an hour, doesn't it? There we go. Plod across. Back up to 75 in a minute. Oh, cancel that. Back up to 75 in a minute. There we go. And then I believe it's just 75 now for the rest of the journey into Manchester. Whatever it was really has got out of our way. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's gone up to, up round the corner, you know, up to Wigan, up Newton-le-Willows Junction. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, it seems, if it is a stopping service, I mean, it's really difficult to see the little signals far away. I'm pretty sure that's a green as well. Sometimes you do get held round here, though, because you've got a stopping service in front, you know, it happens. I mean, there's a hell of a lot of stops, isn't there, between Liverpool and Manchester. I know there's not for this particular service, but like for a stopping service, you really do have a lot of stops. Oh, it feels so slow. It's not just me, is it? It does feel very slow down here. I mean, we are, of course, blessed, because the last time I drove down here, it was in the non-enhanced version, which I believe was, it was kind of brought a little bit more into the 21st century by Alan Thompson's Simba. I mean, it just wasn't a patch on this. Absolutely fantastic. But at least the speed set helps, because, you know, on the other one you were kind of accelerating, coasting, accelerating, coasting, accelerating, coasting. And the brakes were absolutely atrocious on that, on the original model that wasn't enhanced. Really, really, really poor. You know, it was like, I could liken it to the Voyager. Do you remember the Just Trains Voyager, where you had to brake, like, at least 10 miles before you actually wanted to stop? Do you remember that? I mean, I think they've corrected it now. There used to be a little patch that you could download, but I think Just Trains have actually tweaked it themselves, so you don't need the third-party patch anymore. But oh my god, it used to be painful. And then you'd fail all your scenarios because you wouldn't run on time. There we go, you're coming round into Patchcroft now. Just having a little think about it. Maybe it's just loading all the Manchester scenery in. What's this? 150 stroke, one going the other way. I wonder what that's on. Is that maybe... Oh no, you won't be going to Southport round there, would you? Maybe that's standing in for a 195, because it's got a flat front, hasn't it? Yeah, maybe he's standing in for a 195. I mean, he could be on a Chester, actually, because Manchester Victoria to Chester, Northern Rail do run services down there, so he could be running down there, couldn't he? I mean, I could, if I really wanted to, have popped out of the cab and seen what it said on the front. But we're not that bothered. We'll just sit and speculate. There we go. We've got the... I don't know if it's quite a motorway at this stage, or whether it's just a dual carriageway, but we've got that on the left-hand side there. Never gets old. I mean, since COVID, it's not really, you've not really done that. But when you used to fly down here at peak time, and that'd just be gridlock with cars, absolutely gridlock with cars, and you just got flying past. You know, and they'd all be sat there looking miserable. I don't know if they look miserable. You could never actually, you were going that fast, you could never actually see into people's cars. But you know, flying past. I mean, even now, I mean, still racing past, aren't we? There we go. I think about half a mile out from the 50 marker, we'll just knock the speed down, unless, of course, this is a yellow signal. So let's have a bit of We'll just knock that down ourselves now, I reckon. Knock it down to 30. There we go. The road doesn't quite go up at such a steep angle, but it's good enough, isn't it? Yeah, if the signal is a yellow, which it was, we'll just crawl along here. I really am hoping that that button actually looks like that in real life. I imagine it will, but yeah, I love that button. Absolutely fantastic. It's really made me laugh as that. I just like the little pictogram. Right, there we go. You do normally slow down here because, of course, there's a big kind of cross here, isn't there? Because you've got Water Street Junction that we're approaching, and you've got the services from Salford Crescent and, of course, Wigan, Bolton, that way, that actually cross this line into Manchester Piccadilly. So we have to cross quite a lot of traffic here. It would be quite nice if there was like a little dive under, or a flyover. And what I do like, if you listen outside, any minute now you'll hear the squealing of the brakes, as is so iconic with these units. There you go. We'll just plod along at 5. Oh, look, there you go. You can see a 319 just cutting in front of us there. Bit of morning congestion into Manchester. It's not unlike the real thing. I mean, we're here to simulate, and I imagine we're doing that. Bit of morning congestion. You can't fault it, can you? I do absolutely love the squealing of those brakes. Oh, and the door rubbers there hissing as you come to a stand. But we won't release the doors because we're not on the platform. You know, we're a half-decent driver. You know, no serious operational incidents for us today, thank you very much. Oh, flipping heck, green straight away. Off we go. There we go, we'll just a bit of 30. Are we actually going to leave the speed set to do it? I think we will. Yeah, why not? Just leave the speed set. I absolutely love this approach. Alan Thompson Sim really did such a good job. The guys that did this route, I know there was multiple of them, but they really have got it right here coming into Manchester. It's such a brilliant representation of Manchester. You got the chord there. It just really is. It never gets old for me, this coming in here. I enjoy it so much, whether I'm driving this, whether I'm driving a 185, whether I'm driving a Class 150. I really am loving this particular section of the line. I could just drive up and down between here and between Manchester and Eccles all day, every day. It's just brilliant. They've captured it. The funny looking car park on the right. Who designed that? I don't know. Possibly Stevie Wonder. But, you know, and then there's this kind of thing here as well that's just, you know, it all just looks revolting. But it's how it is in real life, you know. Oh, hang on. Let's get that cancelled. Flipping heck, that were a close call, wasn't it? But yeah, whoever designed all those assets, it really is brilliant. We've got Salford Crescent on the left here. And this mural is actually here. Oh, hang on, we'll just... There we go. Hang on, I'm trying to... There we go, 8. This is actually here, and the fact that they've recreated that, absolutely brilliant. Oh, missed the pacer. Missed the pacer. And we're getting the route straight in, which is sometimes you do sit and wait out here, particularly on the red cars. The Liverpool Newcastles might be different, but on the red cars, you tend to have quite a bit of time in here at Manchester. Sometimes you get 10 minutes, you know, standing time, which is great if you're running late. But yeah, obviously the Liverpool Newcastles come straight in, but they normally have a bit of time stood here as well. I think they go at 6:45. so that this would stand here for 15 minutes, I believe. But yes, this is where we are going to be finishing our video today, because of course it's where the route finishes. I do hope you've enjoyed that. I really have. We're definitely coming back to this pack, because again there's so much that we've got to do on it. You know, we've got so much opportunity for routes. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed today's video, show your appreciation for me by clicking that little like button. Helps the video do better, and you know, then you'll see more train sim things like 800s and 801s. You know, so do click that like button. It's always appreciated. I'm looking out for the little stop board, but I can't see it. So what we'll do? Oh dear, where's the track gone next door? That's not what you need, is it? What's happened there then? That used to work. Who knows? About there'll do, won't it? There we go. Get them doors open. And if you haven't already, please do make sure that you subscribe so that you don't miss out on any future Train Sim 2022 videos. We'll just hide that. There we go. Pretty. Can't see the fact the track's not there. Yeah, thanks so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Cheerio. Goodbye for now.